Welcome to our weekly tech review, where we explore the latest trends, news, and updates from the world of technology. This podcast is the perfect source for staying up to date with what is important to know right now. With me today, I have Henrike from Free Tech Academy, and I have Vincent from Upday, and myself, I am Tarek from Ideas Engineering. You can watch all episodes on YouTube or listen to us on all major podcast platforms such as Spotify and Apple Podcasts while you work out, drive, or maybe even travel through space. Now let's jump into the news, and today we are going to start with Vincent.
I can tell you something funny first. It is the very first time we start with my article.
Really? The first time in 70 episodes.
We started one time because I had to leave early. The second episode, when we were doing back-to-back with my article, it is the first time that the random generator, I want to make that clear, the random generator picks me very first time.
All right. I have to check that. I'm going to watch 70 episodes of Tech Review tonight.
71.
70, exactly, yes. Just to verify that.
Today I want to talk about Meta. I think with last week we already spoke about Meta, and this time I want to talk about it again because Meta, as you know, is not only making potentially a lot of money with Threads and still Instagram and Facebook, WhatsApp, they're not making money with that, but they still, and a lot of other stuff like the Llama 2 model, they're also losing a lot of money on the AI front. And the latest scale back of ambitions for AR glasses is making that clear. Meta bought a company for micro LED displays for specifically the glasses. That is something they really need because the technology they're using currently has one big problem, and everybody who's wearing those displays, anybody who has ever worn a display from Meta on their face knows that the technology they're using is not bright enough. It is actually a bit dim. And that makes it very interesting because they actually wanted to switch to the micro LED. I think it's called micro LED. Micro LED technology, but they can't because it is so expensive to do. It's really difficult to do. And because they're losing so much money on this technology currently, they decided to develop the next generation of the displays still with the old technology. And the technology was introduced in the 90s, which is coming to the limit specifically of brightness. But why is that the case? Well, Meta has a lot of problems currently with their headsets, specifically with the Meta Quest Pro. The Meta Quest Pro, I think, was announced 6 months ago or released 6 months ago. We have the Meta Quest 2 going on sale with the Meta Quest 3 coming in August, I think. But the Meta Quest Pro is something that they're launched, and it is, I think, anybody who had their hands on one, it's a great piece of tech, but it's extremely expensive, specifically compared to the Quest 2. And that is why they had disappointing sales with this. So disappointing that they actually told their manufacturers and suppliers that they will not reorder device pieces or tech for the next year because they still have enough on the shelf to sell out. And insiders say that they will not renew this. They will just move on to the next device. Meta currently is in a difficult situation because they're really far ahead, but with the Vision Pro coming, they see that specifically the end customers are having difficulties. However, there are different manufacturers for glasses on the market, specifically for AR, which tends to be more and more a thing, which are maybe not as good as the Quest Pro, but they're not bad. So Microsoft, Snap, all of those developers, also Magic Leap, those manufacturers of glasses that are not amazing but also not bad and specifically great for B2B, all of those might be now, because they have been focusing on AR from the start, might be now getting a head start, because what Meta is currently doing, anybody who did wear of those one of those glasses knows that Meta is scaling down on tech within their new glasses to actually hit market early enough and cheap enough. So for example, they're they planned for a LiDAR scanner in the new AR glasses developing, and they scratched that. And they're doing that with a lot of pieces currently. So it looks like we're getting from Meta at first and earliest in 2027 AR glasses that are mediocre in quality. That's what it sounds like currently. And still disappointing compared to HoloLens from Microsoft or even with the Vision Pro. And that is the disappointing news in AR from Meta currently.
Yeah. And it's really disappointing. I mean, disappointing for me, especially because I, as an enthusiast, want to see like this market strive, but it does not really. And even though I was expecting that something is going to rock this market with the announcement of the Vision Pro from Apple, they are still in this process of splitting up the market segments in for example, target groups. The price of the Apple device is that high that I was always imagining that Meta will stick with their approach of being small, cheap, and mobile with like, let's say, low performance applications, but a lot of fun. And if we see now that they can't even hold this market segment, it's really looking bad for Meta. And I hope that they stay on their course, because so far they are the ones driving or keeping this market alive. Even though I never used the Snap glasses, for example. I only know the Meta glasses and like the high end the old generations of Oculus and Valve. So I'm not sure what they actually can do right now, the latest editions. And of course, I think from Meta, AR features, I never tested so far. Only the VR features.
Because AR is just more or less a side thing they have. I mean, you know it from the Quest 2. They have a black and white camera to display outside. And for example, the big leap for them is actually a color camera. Something they kept because obviously they just need to, run up with the market. But I mean, this is basic development, right? And with Apple coming in, knowing exactly that B2B businesses, they will buy for $4,000 and for $4,000. They will do that. No questions asked. They know that. So Meta, I agree with you, is really now in a difficult gap because they're not delivering enough for the B2C market, but they're also not delivering enough for the B2B market because there's HoloLens that I haven't tried, but as far as I understand, is far ahead when it comes to the connection with actually businesses that need specific tasks like windmill manufacturers and these kind of things.
Henrika, you want to say something? Sorry,
have you ever tried HoloLens, Henrika?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
So I cannot really contribute something now.
HoloLens is something on my list. Since I worked with Magic Leap back in the day, there was always this comparison with Magic Leap versus the HoloLens. And today we have Meta versus the HoloLens and Apple versus the HoloLens. But the Microsoft HoloLens is the one device that I actually never used and never had in my face.
I have a stupid question. What does it run on? I mean, it doesn't run on Windows. We know that. I mean, maybe the kernel, but we're not seeing a fully developed Windows 11 or 10 there, or NS or whatever, but NT. But what is the interface of HoloLens, or is it really that unique? What is it called? Tailor-made for purposes that we don't see that.
I could imagine it's a Microsoft tailored operating system. But yeah, it's a good question. I don't have the exact answer.
Well, that cries out for a YouTube video to watch after this meeting.
Right. Okay.
And now this.
Let's jump to some news about Microsoft. Nice.
Yeah,
I haven't heard that before.
It's been a while.
What a coincidence. And also jump back to beauty features. Because I think it was me who bought the TikTok bold glamour filter that back in the day, a few weeks ago. And now I just read that Microsoft Teams is introducing also an AI-powered beauty feature for video calls. And I thought like, oh, that is convenient. Like you're in the home office, not really motivated to put on makeup or anything or do your hair. And now there seems to be a solution for that. So yeah, that's basically it. Virtual makeup filters to make your life easier. They are provided by Modiface, that is a company focused on augmented reality in the beauty industry. And last week I talked about TikTok partnering with Warner Music. This time it's Teams or Microsoft partnering with Maybelline, the cosmetic corporate, who provides 12 unique makeup looks in the app. And you can choose then from various blurring effects or digital makeup color options, and every one of them will be accompanied by a breakdown of real-world Maybelline products, obviously, because they then want you to make you buy it to replicate the look in real life. So when you come to the office, you look like when you're at home.
Right.
So it's really aiming at helping us feel good about ourselves while we're in virtual meetings and presentations. And they are available to Microsoft Teams Enterprise customers under video effects in the meeting settings. I actually just wanted to have a look before entering this call and try it out. I didn't manage to, but definitely something we have to check out.
You don't need it, of course, Henrike. You don't need it. Also because we're not doing this on Teams, but you don't need it.
Thank you. Still want to try it out. And,
Me too.
But obviously that also, the whole thing also raises concerns, as it always does, and rightly so, about the impact that it has on mental health, because it really just fuels the whole unrealistic beauty standards issues that we already have even more. So nevertheless, still growing interest in using these kind of filters, now also in work-related applications, not just for private purposes like on TikTok. And yeah, so it's I thought if it's really as extreme as the glamorous bold filter or whatever it was called from TikTok, that can be quite disturbing, having that in virtual calls. Like if the colleagues you know suddenly look completely different. But if it's really like realistic, kind of low key, and really just as you would in normal life or in real life, then it really honestly can be quite handy in home office days when you're like not motivated to put on makeup but still want to look like fresh in front of your colleagues and not like just getting out of bed, basically.
Yeah. I think the argument is these filters, they existed before in third-party applications, and makeup already exists before, so you were able to wear makeup if you wanted to. And so I guess like the ethical argument would be there's nothing new in there. They just integrate this feature in Microsoft Teams and make it more convenient. I wonder about this. It's part of the enterprise edition of Microsoft Teams. So now if you pay Microsoft, your colleagues are allowed to look pretty by default.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it can also be good to have like what to say good, but if you like also blend out what's the English word for Augenringe, like from like working very hard and then you always pretend like you're always fresh, you're always like everything's like that's not reality, right?
Yeah,
so
right.
Then you also have these kind of fake news in a simple video call. And I really think this whole, how realistic is it? Is it really like low key and natural, or is it over the top like the TikTok filter that is just like completely different face all of a sudden? That really makes the difference here.
Yeah.
But Tarek, I think that actually this makes perfectly sense that this is part of the enterprise subscription and the different tiers that we have there, because I think it is months ago that we discussed about how they're beefing up their subscription prices, and with that, obviously, they're beefing up their products. And I think back then we were talking about auto summarization of meetings, and Copilot functionality, like the sending around of personalized takeaways and action points.
Yeah.
And I think this is exactly one of those features now. Remember back then we had part A, pillar one, whatever you want to call it, like the one side, where you have things that you don't really need, but they're really nice to have. And they're only very helpful in very specific moments. So enterprises might be struggling to get that, but it is part of it in a certain way. And then now we have this is the second pillar, in my opinion. This is the second part. This is actually really helpful. This is actually really useful. It is something that everyone can experience right away, right? You don't have to be in a specific meeting. You don't have to be in a meeting that's longer than 30 minutes. That you don't have to be in a meeting that's bigger than 12 people. You don't have to be in a meeting that is, I don't know, in Chinese and you're talking English. This is not the case. This is something every employee can turn on right away. So this is really like a reason to get that. And I think this is like the cherry on top Microsoft will put on their enterprise subscriptions, beefing up the product, then beefing up the prices in order to grow their business. So I think that we will see that as one of the I could imagine that we will see this with a lot of people using it, because this will be part of the enterprise subscriptions, making it a loft product. This is why Microsoft will go out, I'm pretty sure, and sell this, saying something like, this is why we're better than Zoom. Because we have things. No, because we're creating a loft product around Teams with these kind of really easy features that will make the life of a lot of people, mainly women in that specific case, I would argue, if it is really makeup and not just refreshing, but also men, better.
Yeah. But you're right. I mean, right now it does not really matter if you use Zoom or Teams or whatever is available. But they
I would disagree.
Yeah, but I mean, for basic calls, you don't have this killer argument of choosing the one over the other. And so if you have the choice and you have these features and you're used to them, then in the future you want to have Microsoft Teams for all the calls.
It must be so much fun being in the partnership unit of Microsoft currently, because I'm pretty sure that Microsoft has this extreme big roadmap, like extremely big, years of a roadmap, I'm sure ahead. And then they have like, in every pillar, there's like, okay, here we're cool to have this, and this, and this, and this element, right? Like filters, but also other. I'm pretty sure it would be so cool right now to scan the market. Like I'm sure they have hundreds of people scanning markets for potential partners, and then reaching out at them, being like, we want to add you to Microsoft Teams because we think it's really cool.
Yeah.
We know that you already have this. And I'm waiting, honestly, guys, I'm waiting on the day when Microsoft partners with Snap to bring Snap Lens into Teams, because I'm sure that this will happen. And because this is this huge database of creator content, and immediately, I mean, Teams will be better. So I think this must be the coolest job out there currently. Microsoft, if you're listening to this, Satya Nadella, you're coming to Axel Springer in October. I know it. I do know it. So if you listen before, I'm happy to talk, man. Just reach out to me. Yeah.
I'm so sure that he's going to listen to this.
Yeah, me too.
Every week.
Exactly.
And now, this.
Let's continue with some fun news. And this is an article that
That wasn't fun?
No, it was fun, but not fun.
No, Tarek, come on. Make it fun. I'm listening.
Make it fun.
I'm open. I want to have fun now.
I want to talk about Celebronauts.
All right, waiting for the punchline.
What?
What are Celebronauts, you ask? Good questions. Celebronauts are celebrities on Mars. And this is how do you call it? Like reality TV show. And I personally, I don't watch this kind of television, but now I am really intrigued. On Fox, I think they have this show called Stars on Mars, and it is like a what they call it, survival-like elimination series, where they put B-list and C-list celebrities in a Mars simulation, and they have like these challenges where they have to survive and work together with things that happen on Mars, like asteroid strikes and killer AI that tries to kill you. And I read this and I was so intrigued. For the first time in, I think, ever, I wanted to watch a TV show like this reality TV show, because I want to see how they are living in there. Even though I'm pretty sure that like the celebrity aspect will be more dominant on this show than the Mars aspect. But I really love this concept, and I really want to know if this is like a random concept where they say, okay, we have to think of something to get the attention of the audience, or if this is related with all the efforts that we have right now on building this Mars on this base on Mars and the base on Moon, and all these colonization news that we have right now in the news, that they said, okay, let's do this for entertainment purposes. Let's simulate Mars and put some celebrities in there fighting for survival. And it is, of course, moderated by who? William Shatner.
Yeah.
No way.
So we have William Shatner producing, not producing, but creating this this
What
show.
is he wearing?
Oops.
What is he wearing?
I'm not sure if we see William Shatner in this clip, but we have here some snippets out of this. And I like this. I like this concept. I did not watch a single episode yet. I just read about this today. But it looks fun, and I hope they do not disappoint.
I must admit that is fun news, Tarek. I'm just wondering why, like you say B or C promis, like we should be on there as well. Like
But this is exactly my point. From our perspective, we are the ones who should play this thing, because we are really enthusiastic about the real life scenarios of surviving on Mars. But I think the entertainment purpose of this thing has nothing to do with Mars. It has something to do with these C-level celebrities fighting each other in whatever scenario. And so it probably doesn't matter if you put them on an island or in a container home or in a Mars simulation.
As an enthusiast in these kind of formats, I have to disagree. It's a huge difference, and it really depends on the show. I mean, we see a lot of those shows, and a lot of them fail, because usually it isn't. Yeah, I could talk about this for ages now, but it does. It has to be smart. It does matter. It does matter. Island, beach, Mars, it is a difference.
Yeah.
fair enough. I have no reference as well. Like I think I have to trust you there. But I like from the red carpet to the red planet, because from what I saw in this little video, I haven't seen any of these CDE VIPs ever before.
Lance Armstrong was in the clip.
Okay,
yes.
I missed that one. Okay, that's at least one that I would know, but the rest is like really not my.
Yeah, but the marketing is on point. Only alone the name, like Stars on Mars, from the red carpet to the red planet, or Celebronauts, cool. It's just amazing. And even though, as I said, I'm not really a fan of these real these, what's it called?
You should be reality shows.
Reality TV, exactly. I feel compelled to create something like a Kickstarter campaign to produce like a better version of this with us in there.
I'm with you.
from the gray asphalt of the streets to the gray moon.
Right.
To the gray surface of the moon, then.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but it doesn't say red surface of the Mars. It says red planet, so it must be gray moon. Sorry.
Like from the concrete jungle to the moon jungle. First thing that we have to do with our budget is to hire a marketing person who comes up with better slogans.
Yeah, definitely.
This is what the Kickstarter is called. Like, we have everything else, but we need marketing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but I put this onto my list of homework for the next time, that I actually watch one of these episodes and then form my opinion more in an educated way. All right, that's it for today and for this week. Thanks for tuning in, and we see and hear you. No, you hear us and see us next week. Bye.
Maybe we will you.
Maybe the other way around. Who knows?
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Toodly-doo.